If I could go back in time and warn myself about one thing, it would be this. The thing is, nobody talks about the hardest part of the journey, the lessons, the pain, the tears, the money, the energy, how much it costs you, how much it costs you stress-wise and mental energy. And so today I want to share the hardest lesson I learned and share that how much it takes courage to actually learn from the lessons that you are given. And I remember the moment so clearly, and I'd worked on so hard to believe in myself, to continually know myself and trust myself, and to have clarity that what I was doing or the decisions I was going to make and the path that I was on was right for me. But because I had very little self-trust and self-belief, and because also the relationships and friendships around me probably weren't the best in supporting me, I needed external validation to know that I was on the right track all the time. And that's a horrible place. Like, I see it now, see it clearly, and I see it when I'm working with people very clearly, when I'm working with people. But when you're constantly needing validation about who you are, what you're doing, where you're at, because you just don't know if where you're at is the right place, if that your thinking is the right thought, or that you know what the next path step is to take, and it's just awful because you just don't know. You just don't know. And so, if I could go back and warn myself about one thing, it would be this: don't let others decide who you are, because that comes from you. You have the power to believe in you, to trust yourself, to love yourself, to give yourself the utmost amount of attention and the opportunity to grow and realize your infinite possibilities are only down to your decision making and your trust, and building that muscle of self-trust and self-belief to help you to navigate your life's journey. And then letting other people decide who you are and tell you who you are completely renders you powerless. You just don't have that ability to know what's right. And it's soul destroying. It really is soul destroying. And know this, that when you look back, it's great because hindsight is amazing, right? But when you're in that moment, the sense of, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, is so overpowering that it stops you in your track and you fumble, fall, and you repeat that. And the moment that I realized that I wasn't going to let anybody else tell me who I am, what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, was a game changer. It literally changed everything. And that moment was after years and years of being in the wrong relationship, programming, trauma from my childhood. And when I was on that path of growth, I just realized that once I trusted in that great source, the universe, the divine, spirit, whatever your word is for it, that it was a no-brainer that higher vibration was being reflected back at me and through me. And through me, it challenged me to grow and open up in the safety of knowing that no human being could hurt me to that degree that I'd been hurt before. And that the pain that I was experiencing, that I could not experience, and I would not allow anybody to cause that amount of pain before. Because when you benchmark so low, the only way is upright or saying stuck. And I'd already decided I wasn't going to say stuck. So that faith and hope is what pulled me out of that hard lesson. And even understanding that growth isn't linear, and all the times that you will go backwards, that I went backwards before I went forwards, or I stayed backwards and then realized, hang on a minute, I've actually gone backwards and I'm still backwards. What am I doing here? All came through awareness. And the awareness was what pulled me out of the quagmire of the shit, for want of a better word. And that awareness allowed the new programming and the new thought patterns and the new habits to start to form. Because I don't know about you, but there's one thing I know about me. My mind is like runs in flowchart scenarios. And my mind was always creating, if I do this, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. And if I do this, this could happen and this might not happen. If I don't do this, this is going to happen, because I learned that as a survival strategy as a child, of everything that I did and the scenarios around it. And then I used that ability to work for me, not against me in survival, because I wasn't in survival. What I realized about myself is that that's how my brain processed information. So I learned that through my coaching work, and I learned that it just happened inevitably, because that's how my brain is. I'm auditory, so that's my brain runs in logic and sequencing. And so I use the power of my mind to actually work for me. So the flowcharts work for me, and I store and code that information, and I recognize that that's my brain sequencing and ordering. I know I'm a big nerd, but go back to my corporate work, right? I was a quality risk manager auditor. I was in that field, in that industry where everything is process driven. Process driven is so powerful. So when you master your mind, you master everything, because your mind limits you and limits what you can do, be, have, see, visualize, because it puts stops and stalls everything. And so when you've got that part of you showing up constantly, you've got to learn to rewire it, right? And that your brain is this huge processor of information. It processes information that you've already got in your system. And let alone that, it's processing everything in your environment, and then your relationship, and then your family, and then your work environment, and then the outside environment, your friends, every single thing around you. So you got to train it. Your brain is a monkey. I say that it's like a 3-year-old having a tantrum, that you've got to be able to know how you think, learn how you think. And that comes from awareness. And I had this belief that if you don't work hard and do the right thing, you won't succeed. And that when you do succeed, somebody will take that away from you. So for many, many years, as a pattern that I saw in my childhood, in my family, the way that my father handled money, the way that my relationship, watching my relationship with my parents, the way that they were with each other and around money and having stuff, formed that belief that you work really, really hard, and then all of that is gone. Somebody will take it away from you. And because that's what I saw growing up all the time, because being able to retain prosperity is an actual thing as well, So growth is messy. It's not linear. You're going to fail. And it's from every time you fail that you get up and you put on your big girl pants and you pivot. You go, well, that didn't work. Let's try something else. And the people who succeed are the ones who keep going even when things don't go to plan. And I can tell you, if I'd have stopped at the first hurdle, I would probably be dead by now, because I don't believe that without the power of keep going and don't let anybody stop you from believing in yourself, that message that you're giving yourself is so powerful. What is it that you're giving yourself? Is it, don't bother because I've already failed? Or is it that I'm so stuck I can't, I'm too scared to try again? And I wish I knew these things earlier. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. And we've been led to believe this narrative that, to succeed, it's the opposite of failure. You've got to get up and you've got to keep working through things and you've got to push through things. And that's not true. You have to pivot in so many ways, and that every setback carries a lesson if you're willing to look for it. And if you're going to start now, start with the knowing that you have the capacity to do it. So, my friends, think about the moment when you felt that you'd failed, and what did you learn? How did it shape you? And let me know what your answers are. Message, DM, you know where I hang out, and let me know. If this resonated, don't just keep it to yourself. Let's keep the conversation going. You can catch me on Instagram at The Corporate Medium and tell me what hit home for you and what resonated. If you've got a story to share or a topic you want me to cover, let me know. And hey, before you go, subscribe, follow, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs it. I'll see you next time.